The Clockwork Séance. Chapter 1. The Mechanical Medium. The brass contraction on our Baker Street table whirred with an unsettling precision, its gears and levers moving in patterns that defied conventional mechanics. At its core, a piece of opalescent metal, unlike any material I had encountered in my medical studies, pulsed with a faint bluish light. Holmes stood over it, his magnifying glass catching the afternoon light as he studied the intricate device. "Egyptian silver," he murmured, indicating the strange metal, "reportedly mined from a quarry that was sealed by Pharaoh's decree in 2000 BC. The Ethereal Engineers believed it resonated with what they called the frequency of the beyond. Quite rare. I've only seen it once before, in Mycroft's private collection." My hand unconsciously moved to my pocket watch, a new habit since our encounter at the Whispering Lantern. The timepiece had proven oddly reliable at detecting supernatural disturbances, often stopping in their presence. Now its second hand moved erratically, jumping forward and back as if caught in some temporal distortion. "The symbols are similar to those we found beneath the lantern," I observed, noting the intricate markings etched into the brass, "though these seem more structured." Indeed. Where those were meant to tear reality apart, these appear designed to create controlled breaches. Windows rather than doors, if you will. Holmes straightened, pocketing his lens. The Ethereal Engineers learned from their early catastrophes. After the Great Dover incident of 1824, where an entire seaside village reportedly vanished overnight, they began pursuing more precise methods. "You've been researching them?" Mycroft's files proved most illuminating. The engineers weren't mere spiritualists, Watson. They were brilliant minds who discovered that supernatural forces could be channeled through properly designed machinery. Their founder, Theodore Greaves, believed that by combining ancient symbols with modern engineering, they could establish safe communication with other realms. Safe communication. I remembered the whispers from our last case, the things that had pretended to be human voices. Surely that's impossible. Graves thought otherwise. He claimed success in 1832, said he'd spoken with his dead wife through a device similar to this one. The next day he and his entire laboratory vanished. The society was officially disbanded, but some members continued their work in secret, including, it seems, Gerald Newcombe. As if responding to the name, the device's gears shifted, producing a sound like distant chimes. The opalescent metal's glow intensified. Mrs. Hudson's knock interrupted us. "Inspector Lestrade is here, Mr. Holmes. He seems quite shaken." Lestrade burst in, his face ashen. "Newcombe's dead. Found in his workshop, doors locked, windows barred. But that's not the worst of it." He glanced at the device, unsurprised to see it. "They're all running. Every machine in his workshop. No power source, no steam engine. And they're speaking, Holmes, in his voice, in others, and in sounds no human throat could make." "When did he die?" Holmes asked sharply. "That's the devil of it. 3 days ago, according to our surgeon. But here's something you'll find interesting. His body shows the same marks we found on those poor souls at the lantern, those symbol burns on the skin." I saw Holmes's expression tighten. "And the machines? What exactly are they saying?" "Mostly nonsense, numbers, letters. But there's one phrase they keep repeating. The barrier weakens with each revolution. They're nearly ready." Holmes moved swiftly to his desk, retrieving a worn leather volume I recognized from our last case. Mycroft's notes mentioned this. The engineers believed that prolonged operation of their devices could weaken the walls between worlds, but they also warned of something else, entities that would attempt to use the machines for their own purposes, things that had been watching us, waiting for someone to build the right mechanism. "Surely you don't believe—" Lestrade began. After what we witnessed at the Lantern, Inspector, I believe our duty is to investigate all possibilities." Holmes donned his coat. "Watson, bring your revolver, and that pocket watch. It may prove useful. We should examine Newcombe's workshop before sunset. These devices tend to be more active after dark." As we left, I glanced back at the brass machine. The Egyptian silver now pulsed in a distinct rhythm, like a heart beating in time with some distant alien pulse. And in its whirring and clicking I could almost make out words. A voice that seemed to be counting down to something. Something that the Ethereal Engineers had spent decades trying to achieve, or perhaps trying to prevent. The game was afoot once more, but this time we were playing by rules that blended Victorian science with forces far older and far more dangerous than any of us truly understood.